Hi guys, Luckfog here and welcome back to another FIFA 20 video, and today guys I'm taking a look at the new Player Moments SBC Trezeguet. His Player Moments card has just been released along with the new Shapeshifter Player SBC. I don't know which video will go out first on my channel, but I highly recommend you watch the Shapeshifters video to see what player I got. I am still very... I'm gutted basically with what I've got, and you can go and watch the video to see my reaction to that, because it was a shocking reaction to I was genuinely shocked when I saw the player pop. But anyway guys, so the Trezeguet SBC, I'm not doing this. I'm not putting an 85 rated squad and an 86 squad when I just had to put in like 150k into the Shapeshifters SBC. There's no way. I'd literally have no coins left at all in my club, so I've got to be really careful at what SBCs I do. But in return, first of all, obviously we'll have a look at the card, then like the SBC in a little bit more detail. So 87 rated, to be fair, like his card looks absolutely insane. He got this for celebrating his decisive goal versus Leicester in the EFL Cup. Of course, they sadly did get beat on the weekend as well by City 2-1, but he did get that league goal to be able to take them through to the final. And if you look at his cards here, 5'10" in height, high medium work rate, which is pretty good, 4-star skills and 5-star weak foot. That's absolutely perfect. You know, you could use him as a cam, as a striker. Either position I think would be very effective. Probably the cam position I'd like to use him more in, though, to be quite honest. And I think he's been position changed as well from a left winger to a centre forward as well. If we go into his in-game stats, pretty solid. Actually, I don't know about some of those stats. Okay, I wouldn't do this SBC just looking at them right now. For me, there's too many weak stats. Don't get me wrong, look, on the face of it, his card looks amazing, but when you get into some of his in-game stats, yes, his stats like his 88 shot power, his 88 long shots, his 90 agility, his 96 dribbling look amazing, but there's too many average stats, even for this stage of FIFA. 80 positioning, and yes, don't get me wrong, there will be chem stats where you can increase some of these stats, but you won't be able to increase all these stats at once, if that kind of makes sense. So 80 positioning, not good for this stage of FIFA. Very poor penalties and volleys as well, again, for this stage of FIFA. Yes, his finishing shot power and long shots, they're all sounds, though. No, I've got no worries with that whatsoever. Vision, very poor. Long passing, does that matter for a cam? Yes, sort of, to an extent, but not the most critical thing. Is short passing at 83. For a cam at this stage of FIFA, it's fairly average, considering you can get some icon cams for free from icon subs and stuff like that. Very poor curve, shocking free kick accuracy as well. Yes, his crossing at 85, though, to be fair, is pretty decent. His dribbling stats are all amazing, apart from his 80 reactions. Again, very poor. Reactions are a very important stat, especially for attackers, or to be fair, for any player in any outfield position, and the fact he's only got 80 reactions, again, isn't great. 86 composure isn't too bad. Obviously his 90 ball control, and the fact he's got a 4-star big foot and 5-star skill moves, that is superb. His stamina at 90, that's great. His strength at 77, not too bad for a cam, but for me, I wouldn't do this team, because of course 85, 86, 87 rated cards are going to go up so much now in value. Of course, having that new Shapeshifter SBC that's just been released. If you're going to do this SBC, wait until that Shapeshifter SBC has gone. There's 2 days on that Shapeshifter SBC. If you're going to do them, because this card I believe has got 6 days left before it expires, or a week or something like that. If you really want to do him because you're a fan of Trezeguet and you don't already have all the players in your club to be able to submit him, wait a couple more days, because those gold cards are going to go up so much because people want to do that player SBC. You wait a few more days and then you do the SBC. But to be quite honest, in general, unless you're a Villa fan, unless you're Egyptian or something like that, I wouldn't go near this card. For me, you won't get your value for coins, in my personal opinion. For me, there's too many average stats for the stage of FIFA. Do I think he's a bad card? No, I don't. Absolutely not. But at the same time, I don't think he's great. And there's the Corona card. That was one of the players that I did submit to the SBC for the absolutely shocking player I got in return. But if we do look at, we'll look at cams, because I think that's going to be the best position. For example, I think a gold Kevin De Bruyne is better than Trezeguet, for example, even at this stage of FIFA. And of course, you've got those all different cards. You've got like the Richarlison card there, the Bruno Fernandes, winter refreshes and stuff like that. Even like an Eriksen Inform, I think would be just as effective. The Dele Alli headliner, and that was an SBC, of course. You've got Mason Mount's Future Stars cards. There's just so many other really good, effective cams. Centre forwards, of course, you've got the likes of Roberto Firmino, Son, much better cards, much better cards. Like even the hero Firmino, let's have a look at his price, or actually I can't at the moment because I've got the 88 one in the squad, but if we have a look at the 87 Firmino, his hero card that would have been as well from the Club World Cup, I want to see what his price would be, considering that Trezeguet SBC is going to be at least over 200,000 coins, maybe even more than that potentially. This Firmino cards, if I have a quick look here, unfortunately it's just going to come up with his UCL cards by the looks of it. If I quickly just go minimum buy now price, 60,000, hopefully that will clear them. Okay, well, there's a screen card, for example, already there. His hero card's about 100,000 coins, maybe like 120k. So much more cheaper, and will be literally just as good as a striker or a cam as as that Trezeguet card. And then for strikers, again, you're spoiled for choice from the Premier League because there's so many effective cards that we've already had. Unfortunately, we can't. Well, completely done the wrong thing there. But if we go and have a look now, strikers from the Premier League. You got Harry Kane, who I think is terrible as a striker. And you got the Aguero cards, like his record breaker and stuff like that. Like a Aubameyang and stuff. Heung-min, Son, Greenwood. I mean, to be fair, these are pretty expensive cards. But then you got cards like the future stars Moise Kean. You got the Tammy Abraham, Foot Haaland as SBC. You got the player with Jamie Vardy, who still, to an extent, is relatively effective at this stage of FIFA and would literally still be just as good as using that Trezeguet card as striker. In my opinion, this SBC is an absolute no-go. Have I used the card? No, I haven't. So I can't 100% say for sure. But based on the stats that I've seen, it would be an SBC that I personally wouldn't touch, certainly for the next few days, because this SBC will go cheaper after the shapeshifter player SBC has gone. But for the time being, honestly, I'd stay clear with the SBC. I think you will not, in my personal opinion, unless you're a massive fan of the cards, or as I said before, you're from Egypt, you love Trezeguet, you're a Villa fan, I can understand you doing him now. Apart from that, don't waste your coins, in my personal opinion, because you will not get your value for money from doing him. But anyway, guys, hopefully you have enjoyed watching this video, and I'll see you guys later.